start recording. And wherever the fuck this goes, this goes. All right. I'm here by myself today. Because I lost my best friend. I lost a part of me that I don't even know how to describe. Right? I'm listening to Jay-Z all morning, and I went from like one album to the other. And by the way, Jay-Z has some amazing music. It's different from the music of now, where people just talk about killing each other and all that. The Jay-Z that I grew up to, he described your life. He described your wants. He described your troubles, your thoughts, your motives, the outcomes, the possible outcomes, right? So that's why we took to him, because it wasn't like, you know, you had your DOS effects rap, like bumstity, bum, hun. And then you had the niggas that you didn't feel. It was just whatever. And then you had the Tribe Called Quest dudes, which is cool. It was great music. And, you know, De La Soul, great music. But Jay, he spoke about a certain type of nigga that was going through a certain type of shit. And there's a lot of us mixed in with them Tribe Called Quest niggas, right? And demonized by them Tribe Called Quest. Not demonized, but like they were scared. I was scared of the Jay-Z niggas. You know, the 30 and 30 niggas on the corner deep. I was scared of them niggas. Well, I'm gonna ramble a lot. I'm gonna ramble a lot today. Stay focused if you can. Stay with me. It's going somewhere. When Jay dropped 444 and he spoke about you can't heal what you don't reveal, I've been trying to figure that out all weekend. I've been trying to figure out how to feel about losing my friend all weekend. I haven't cried. I haven't broken down. I sat here and watched The Hunting Wives. I just didn't feel like answering the phone. I didn't feel like talking to nobody. I haven't felt like doing much. By the way, you Hunting Wives, you're some horny bitches. Y'all are horny. And I fuck with it. Okay? I just feel really bad for women that don't have ass. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm speaking from my truth. I feel bad for women that don't have ass. Like, it's a travesty. It's an injustice. And when you meet your maker, no matter what you've done, I would say, but you started me off like this. And that's not fair. So whatever I've done in life should be taken into consideration with whatever crimes or whatever things I've done. You didn't give me ass. Okay? I had to walk around with no ass my whole life. And it bothered me. It affected me. So, you know, hey, that's just some advice that I would give the ladies out there. If you don't have ass, I'm sorry for you, you know? And that's how I felt watching The Hunting Wives. I was just sitting there like, look at these iron boards rubbing on each other. Anyway, dope show. Great show. You can't heal what you don't reveal. I need to tell y'all a few things. You know, I started writing a book when I was in jail years ago, and a lot of my stories go back to being in jail and being back to being when I was in the street. And we all know that's not who I am anymore, right? We all know I don't come off as a nigga that was doing all that. And the reason why is because that was never really me. If I'm being honest, I became that and I lived it, but it wasn't essentially me. And the streets knew that. The streets knew, Tahoe, you not a street nigga. I was never like, I could never be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Give off that energy that, but when you live a certain lifestyle, you take up a flag. That's you. You got to hold that. You got to earn that. You have to live that. And sometimes you die by that. At some point, I dropped my flag. But it's never going to erase the time that I spent, the things that I've done. A lot of it I'm not proud of, but they still are a part of me. But all of this starts, there's a reason why, right? People would say, well, if that wasn't you, then why? When I was in jail, my aunt Val wrote me a letter. I probably still have it in the other room. And I was so disappointed. I was so hurt when I got this letter, right? Because here I am. I just beat a trial for attempted murder. By the way, I didn't do it. So it's not even like I am celebrating the fact that, I didn't do it. So I beat this trial and I took this 1-3 because I could not go back to court. I was broken by this trial. I lost 20 pounds. I had my hair was like grown all on my face. I looked nuts. When I got to Rikers Island, I was 138 pounds. My regular weight, most of my teenage to young adult life was 170 pounds. I was 138 pounds. That's how much weight I lost. Going to trial for something that I didn't do and upholding street values of not talking to the police. Well, actually, it's still a lawyer. The lawyer's like, nigga, you are being charged. There's nothing to talk about. Not that I would have anyway, but I didn't really have no options. It wasn't even like it was an option. You feel me? But when I beat that trial, I still had 2 drug charges. And I was just like, yo, when I came home, when I got acquitted for that trial, for that crime, and I came home and I saw all of my friends gambling and drinking. Not that a few of them did come to the trial at the last day and they were there when I got acquitted. I must shout out the people that was there. That was my crew, right? But a lot of them wasn't the niggas I hustled with every day. The niggas I was risking my life for. Niggas that I had shootouts for. Niggas that I did all of the dirt with. They wasn't there. It was the niggas that knew Sakai and knew what my heart was and was telling me for a long time, get out of this. Get away from this. Them niggas was there. And they were still street niggas, but they wasn't committed to it like I was. You feel me? Not a lot of them wasn't. Some may be like, yo, I was there, niggas. Shit, I was in this corner. And respect to y'all niggas that did, but y'all know what I'm talking about. If you was there, you know what I'm talking about. You know how dark it got for me. So this is my story when it comes to that. When I walked back outside and I seen the crackheads still buying crack on my corner from other people, from a corner that I shot at people over, that I shed blood over, that I, made people bleed over, whatever, right? They were still moving. The cars were still driving. The niggas were still hustling. Nobody cared that I wasn't there. That means I could have got convicted of that moment and did 15 to 25. Nobody would have cared, bro. And I held this like code of honor that felt that I had to live by so high, to walk down the block and realize nobody cares. Nigga, what you throwing your life away for? You throwing that away for us? We don't care. We don't care. And that was a grim realization. That was a grim realization. Because I had spent time on Rikers for witness tampering and whatever while I was going through the trial. So I had time away to think. And I asked myself, why? What are you doing to yourself? Why are you here? What is this for? What are you trying to prove? You feel me? And I didn't have no answers for that. So I started making plans to leave from right there. One of the plans that I made was I called my lawyer. I said, tell the DA, give me a year. I'll take it. Give me a year. He was like, what? Why would you? I said, because I need a vacation anyway. And he's like, but you gonna have a felony? I said, I don't care. I just didn't have it in me to fight no more. She broke me down with this fucking trial. I did not have the energy to fight her anymore. Okay? And it was serious. Now, all of this, as I said, the book tells a whole bunch of stuff, so I'm not going to go into all of this too much. But basically, I got out the game. And I disappointed a lot of people by doing that, specifically my friend G Young. But let's get to that. We'll be back to that. This story starts, I think, years before. It starts with a young boy growing up on Decatur Street, right? My mom had left my dad, and I was such a happy little kid, bro. Right? From what I recall, just laughing and joking and watching Falcon Crest in Dallas with my cousin and, you know, running around the house. And life was good, man. My moms would come walking home from work, and I could see her all the way down the block, and I'd go running down the block, Mommy! Right? It was happy. And, you know, unless she was beating my ass for whatever the hell I did wrong that day. And let's be clear, I did a lot wrong. I got a lot of beatings. To those who want to call CPS, it was a different time. It was a different time. We parents actually kicked their kids' ass back then in the name of love. So it's like step in the name of love. No, it was whip your ass in the name of love. That's the song they played back then. It changed over time, right? Now you just be like, you know, you need therapy. I don't know why I wasn't born in that era. I would have much rather the therapy era than to go get my belt. Cause that's some horrible shit. You make your kid go get the belt. Like, what kind of lazy beating? Like, how the fuck is you that lazy? You're mad, but that's torture in itself. I watched a Steven Seagal movie once, and he said, anticipation of death is worse than death itself. Why are you making me walk the Green Mile to go get your belt? And I can't even bring you the wrong one. I got to bring the belt, the big belt with the holes in it, or the plastic one. By the way, you should go to jail if you beat your child with that plastic belt. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how old your child is. If you beat them with the plastic belt, you deserve jail time. That's how I feel. I'll testify for you because I got beat with the plastic belt before, so I can testify as to how painful that is. And then we can weigh that pain versus the egregious, the thing that you really got beat for. Was it really worth the plastic belt? It probably wasn't. Sorry, y'all. I laugh at funerals. I don't know how to express myself other than that. I laugh, I smile, and then I go cry in the dark. Let me write that down. Give me a second, y'all. This is kind of stressful for me, for real. So all week, and I've been trying to figure out how to deal with these pain. I think I don't really know how to express it. But I'm gonna just keep going. Um, when you're a young kid, you don't understand the world. Your world is your house, your family, and then it becomes kindergarten, right? You don't know what's going on in first grade, second grade. You're not able to process that. You don't have the experience to process the world. You just know your class, you know the cafeteria, you know the school bus. That's it. You don't understand that you're driving through Bed-Stuy or that your school is in Bushwick. You don't get the world. But when my mom left my dad, I started to understand the world more because I started going outside. And Decatur Street was my grandmother who just passed. That was in Bed-Stuy. And Bed-Stuy is a community thing, right? You go outside, you play in the street, whatever, whatever. And it was probably the first time I got beat up. These guys that my sister was cool with, my cousin that I call my sister, was cool with, they like chased me to the house. And I didn't want to fight them because I didn't even understand what fighting was because I didn't have brothers. My dad was barely around. I didn't have that. Told you, I was playing with my fucking cousin all the time, my girl cousin. And I played dolls with her house, the doll house, and she had the kitchen thing with the stove, whatever the fuck that is. Y'all know the stove. Now, this is what I did with my day. So these two fucking niggas come wanting to fight, and I'm looking at these niggas like, why are you so angry? What the fuck is wrong with you niggas? Like, I thought we was trying to play double dutch. And it was the first time that I got scared to go outside. I stood in my doorway when they chased me, and my cousin was still outside because they didn't want to fight her. They wanted to fight me. And I was scared to go outside. I live a lot of my life like that. Growing up with your mom, no brothers, no real male friends around. You don't really know how to deal with fear. It became a part of me. It became a part of how I looked at the world, let alone the fact that my mom beating my ass every other day. So it was just like, yo, I'm just getting beat up everywhere I fucking go. Like, God damn it. Another beating. You know what I'm saying? I grew up like that. But you still had to go outside. If you're getting beat in the house, you might as well go outside and play skelly. If you're going to get beat up, you might as well have some fun. All right? And I ain't trying to say that my mom was abusive, but she was doing her best. You know, she was struggling, trying to figure life out. And a lot of times your parents' struggles become your struggles. Or you feel the shit that they're going through. And it just happens. And of course, shit. I remember one time my mom got a beating in front of me. So it wasn't even, yeah. And it wasn't even like a beating. It was like, my mom, when she left my dad, I guess she was just trying to figure out life herself because she was bored in her relationship. And so she started clubbing a lot. She started going out a lot. And I guess she was leaving me with my grandmother a lot, I suppose. I don't remember that. I remember my mom being around. But, you know, when you're a kid, you don't understand all of that, right? You don't see what's happening. And so one day, I guess we're all supposed to go to church. And my mom wasn't there. And so my aunt, my sister's mom, had to take me to church. And you could tell she was mad at something, but you didn't know what, right? 'Cause she's black. Sorry. A lot of people are always mad. I'm sorry. I wasn't going to say what y'all think I was going to say. Okay? It wasn't going to be good either way, and I didn't say it. I caught myself, so. But, yes, she was mad. And a lot of the experiences I had in that house with people that were mad. Smoking her cigarette out the window on the way to the church. Smoking her cigarette out the window on the way back from church. Me, I'm just in my own little world, right? Me and my cousin, we just in the back seat, doing whatever. And when my aunt brought us in the house, she made a beeline for my mother's room. And she whooped her ass in that room. She whooped my mother's ass. And I'm just screaming, ah, ah. And apparently, my family was tired of my mom leaving me there and partying and coming home early in the morning and not being around. And apparently, this was the last straw. It was the last straw for her older sister. She was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. And, the shit got real. And my mother apologized to me. And I didn't understand what the apology was for because I love my mom. I didn't understand none of this, right? I thought they looked at my aunt like she's just evil because she beat her kid. Now you're beating my mom. She even beat me sometimes. It's like, yo, we fucking just handing out ass whippings in this house. Like, somebody called the police on this person. Like, what? Who the fuck is this? Wait, Wile E. Coyote of Bed-Stuy. This lady. All right. But my mom changed after that and, started, being around more. But that experience, because this is my protector. This is the person who loves me the most in the world, is now getting beatings. And that does something to you, bro. Like, there is no safe place. Nowhere is safe. I don't think that y'all understand what that did to me. This people fighting you in the street. I'm growing up in the crack era. I'm scared, bro. My dad ain't want me. You know what I'm saying? I know. Listen, listen, this, a lot of times I record for y'all. This one is for me. You feel me? I could not record with Dodge and Trom this week. They asked. Dodge calls me when we recording, and I didn't answer. I couldn't answer. I couldn't fucking talk about some people dating or some fucking dumb I just didn't have the energy. I locked myself in my house and I watched new flatboard butt white women hump each other and didn't kill people. That's what they did. And they killed one bear or boar. They I don't know. I guess they was hunting pussy because I don't know. So now I'm doing this episode by myself. And I thought about it this morning when I was listening to Hove and the heal what you can't reveal. You can't heal what you don't reveal. And I was like, but it was hard for me to record this episode because I thought about it. But okay, I'm not ready to get there. I'm gonna take my time with this. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. It's a little difficult to go down this road. In any case, I lived a lot of part of my life, and I was smart, right? I was intelligent, and so although I was a happy little kid that was extremely intelligent, that fear turned to something else in my chest. I needed to get rid of that fear. And through that, I became mischievous. I became angry. And for a long time, my mother looked at me and she was like, what happened to you? Why are you so mean? Why are you so angry? And I couldn't tell her it's because I keep getting beat up every time I go outside, right? Because you don't want to admit that as a boy, as a man. You don't want to admit I'm scared of the world because then now your moms won't even let you go outside. And the shit, I remember my mom forcing me to go outside. when I would run in the house. I remember her saying, you have to go out there and fight. I don't know how to fight, lady. They do. What the fuck is you talking about? They're beating me up. You fuck, come out, help me. You fuck. Like, what are you talking about? Go fight. I can't. I'm trying and I keep losing. What the fuck? How many black eyes you think I got to give out? I don't want to fight no more. What the fuck? I mean, and so you hide because you don't want to, you know what I mean? You hide those feelings. You don't want to admit that you're scared. You don't really have nowhere to turn to. And every time you walk out the house, they're waiting for you. The world is waiting for you. And so you put your clothes on. You put your face on. You put your mask on. I remember walking down a block with one of my homeboys once, Jeff Keno. Right? Little Jeff, he was nice in basketball. Super nice in basketball. And he happened to live on my block. And, you know, everybody knew that I wasn't like that. But, hey, I lived there and, you know, it was what it was. So they you know, took me in once we moved over there. And we was walking somewhere. We was walking down Halsey Street one day. And he said, yo, Kai, that's what they called me back then, Kai. They was like, yo, if you're gonna be scared to come outside, don't come outside. Because they could smell it on you. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen regardless. You gotta walk like you mean that shit. They was training me. Although they was fighting me and beating me or whatever it was, they was also trying to toughen me up. And with that, there's a camaraderie that comes with that, right? You take the whoopings. You take the bullying. You take it because you start feeling more part of it somehow. You start feeling more masculine somehow. You know what I mean? Once they're not beating you up. I don't know how to explain that, but it was something to it. And so I started feeling like crew. But I was still scared at the end of the day. It did some shit like, you know, I would still flinch. You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, if you're going to be scared to come outside, you can't walk these streets. You can't. And for a long time, I was scared, but I started getting tougher. And I started to become more like them. I went to a smart school, Bronx High School of Science. And while I was at that school, I met Trom. And I was able to hide with Trom. Trom and his family, you know, they have a great family. It was him, his older brother, his mom, his pops. They lived in a really expensive house. And my anger was really fucking up my relationship with my mother. And so I ran away a few times. But at some point, Trom and his family let me stay with them. The problem is they're very peaceful. And if for anybody that watches this show, you can tell the difference between me and Trom. You can tell the difference. I'm sure his parents could tell the difference. I'm sure his brother could tell the difference. When I went to Bronx Science, which is a very gifted school for y'all out there, it's one of the 3 top specialized schools in New York City. I did not fit in. These kids, their lives were just different than mine. I was naturally intelligent, but I didn't socially fit into this hemisphere. This wasn't my place, right? Because I'm taken more to the street. I'm taking more to being mischievous, and I'm hiding behind this mask while everybody else there can be themselves because they don't live where I live at. They don't go through what I go through. Their parents shelter them. Their parents keep them in like these Jack and Jill. I don't know if y'all know about Jack and Jill, but it's like this elite black community thing, right? It's literally like a black Illuminati in New York City. I don't know if it spans anywhere else. It probably does. But it's literally like you got to kiss the ring type shit. It's Illuminati. And a lot of them were in that and in that community, and they grew up in that community where I grew up on Decatur Street running down the block from these two niggas. They had a different life than me. Everybody. And there was only maybe 200 tops black people in that school, and the school maybe had 2,000 people in it. And I just didn't fit. I didn't fit in. Right? And I also didn't fit in Trom's house. I didn't fit there. I tried. I wanted to. But it was hard for me to look at how their life was and then go back to my mom's house and see how my life was. That's something I remember clearly. Resentment, maybe towards Trom and his family. I don't think so because they took me in. You know, I've never really thought about that. They took me in, and I appreciated them immensely for that. But a resentment that why is my life not like that? Why is my life like this? It's not fair. I'm being honest. As a young person, I'm not sure if any of y'all ever felt that way. I felt that way. Because my mom and dad wasn't together. And she's doing her best. But that's not this. This best is just not equatable to this. I never heard their parents yell. I never saw them beat. I never saw them have a moment where they couldn't afford shit. I never seen their house dirty. They just seem so Cosby, right? Everything's together. And then when I leave out of there, I'm going back to this hood type reality. So I didn't fit. And so there's only so far I can go. There's only so far Trom and I could walk together. There's only so far that he could take me with, he could protect me from myself and the demons that I had in myself. And I think he knew that. I think he did his best, and he might still be trying to do his best to save me from myself. But I was going to win regardless. There's no way you can't beat me at this, nigga. I'm determined to ruin my life. What the fuck is you talking about? Nigga, the minute you turn your back, I'm going to fuck all of this up. You know what I'm saying? I wound up going to college. The only reason I went to college was so I could go be around Trom's older brother. I didn't go to college to go to class. I didn't even know what the fuck college was. Just saw them getting letters. Trom's brother was like in the year ahead of me. Trom was in the year below me. So I saw his brother go off to college. I knew my moms ain't have money to go to college. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even think about it for real. I only applied to the school his brother went to. That's when you know you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And you also know that you don't even really believe it, right? I was dick riding. I just wanted to be down, and I went to the school his brother went to. I got accepted. I applied for Pell Grant. I still owe that fucking. I still owed him for that one semester that I went to that school. And like I told y'all, I fucked that up because while I was there in that school, I immediately flocked to the street niggas. And y'all know those niggas. Y'all know the niggas that go to school. And as soon as you get to freshman year, they all bunch up together and they all running rampant, trying to be as thugged out as they possibly could, right? While everybody else is doing their homework, these niggas is drinking and smoking and trying to fuck and fighting their ops. How the fuck you found an op already? It's freshman year. How do you have ops already? Because that's the thing. And I flocked right to them. It was the Nas era. It was the camouflage and 40 below Tim's era. It was the Onyx era. It's time to get live like a wire. We was live like a wire. That's what we did. We acted tough. And we fucked our lives up doing that shit. Got into a fight. I was from Brooklyn, so you know you wave that. I'm from New York, nigga. From New York. Fuck everybody. We from New York. And I set it on somebody. And that nigga did not take lightly to getting his ass kicked that day. And he showed up the next morning with a fucking crew of niggas. And when me and my friend walked into a building, them niggas jumped the shit out of us. And my friend did not take kindly to that, so he stabbed him in the stomach with a butcher knife. On campus. Damn, they killed that nigga. They had to helicopter him to a hospital where they sewed up his intestines. And he survived. And that was my college experience. In a nutshell. They expelled us. I fell out with them because my mom and my lawyer told me I had to write a statement. I think I took the stand in his grand jury thing. And all I said was I ain't see shit. I wasn't there. I said I was there. I didn't see shit. And the nigga stabbed him. And apparently that was snitching. And that's what's in my recollection. But I didn't understand the court system. I legit didn't understand none of this. I didn't know. I didn't understand that I wasn't even supposed to say nothing. I didn't know. But that's what my mom and my lawyer told me to do. I thought my life was over, and that's what I did. I forgot all about that shit for a long time until I spoke to the nigga again years later, and we chopped it up or whatever. But whatever. I was 17 years old. I graduated early from high school and went to the school. I'm skipping a lot of shit. But anyway, let's get back to where this is supposed to be at. I wound up coming home and I got a job. And I got a girlfriend. And I don't know if y'all remember the story about me following her and finding her cheating and I was ready to kill and all that stuff. In the midst of that, I was kind of lost here in Brooklyn because now all of my friends are at college and I'm back in Brooklyn. And I don't have no real friends. I'm by myself again. Now, I can't say that I didn't have friends. I had these two friends, Mike, Fabe, my other friend, Damien. And we was a little crew, but we hung out on the dark side of my block, right? And over there, there's no women, there's no cars, there's no traffic. You do shit in the dark. Like you just like little rats, like doing a lot of shit in the dark. It's just a little quiet ass block in the midst of Bed-Stuy. But it's literally between two lit ass blocks. Lit. You got Franklin Ave, you got Nostrand Ave. We're hanging out on Bedford, which is nothing. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Nothing. Understand the word nothing. There's nothing there. Meanwhile, you go to Franklin, it's lit. You go to Nostrand, lit. Nostrand was like Broadway, right? Broadway, literally 30 niggas on every corner, cars, just lit, crazy, right? But we was scurrying down Bedford Avenue, selling our little $5 weed. You know what I'm saying? Staying out of the way. Somehow, one day I'm walking down the block. Let me before I say that. When I speak about Nostrand Avenue, everybody was scared of Nostrand Avenue. And you niggas out there, wherever you at, don't tell me shit, nigga. Y'all niggas know what Nostrand was. My mom's moved me from one avenue, right, which is Troop Avenue. And Troop Avenue was fire. Probably the best neighborhood I've ever lived in. But it wasn't Nostrand. Nostrand was, it had a name. It's called N.A. Rock. You feel me? And Nostrand had a name for itself. You go down there, I'm telling you, it's lit over there. You walk over there, it's 30 niggas on this corner, it's 30 niggas on that corner. These niggas is banging it out. It's crazy. It's the home of Mano. It's the home of Jay-Z. It's the home, nigga, Nostrand, nigga. And that's where my mom's moved me to. What the fuck? Tone deaf. Hello. Why'd you? I'm already terrified of the world. You fucking, you gonna move me here to where all of these other streets is telling you don't go to Nostrand. Let's go around Nostrand. Let's go this way. Whatever it was. I ain't gonna say, like, and again, I ain't gonna say that you niggas out there that living on y'all other blocks was not gully. I ain't gonna say that y'all niggas ain't do what y'all did, but y'all know the vibes. Especially in 89, 90. Come on. Y'all know the vibes. That's where she moved me to. 1989, 1990. A lot of y'all wasn't even alive at that point. Right? So, while I'm scurrying around on Nostrand, on Bedford, Nostrand had its whole own thing. Now, I'm about to take this to another level right now. This is where the story actually begins. I've been giving y'all like a preview, whatever. Again, those early years, I skipped so much. When you read the book, you'll see all of this stuff that was going on, you know, cars getting blown up, or just all types of shit, all types of wild shit that was going on. But this is, I have a destination here, so I'm trying to get there. I didn't even speak about the crack era. You know, I didn't speak about, there's a million things I didn't speak about, right? But nigga try to rape my cousin. There's a million things, right? All of this stuff is going to be in the book, but whatever. When I walk home from school sometimes on Nostrand, there was this crew of niggas that hung around the corner. When I said they was 30 deep, these niggas was fly, gully, scary niggas. Hard ER. Capital hard ER. And they I don't understand. I don't know if y'all don't remember this, right? Because the world has gotten so Kanye, polo shirt, book bag, everybody can wear jewelry. Everybody can go on the internet and talk about each other. Nobody's scared. There was a time that I grew up in, and I don't really mean to you know, back in my day, y'all, you couldn't do all that. You wasn't walking around the block with no jewelry on, nigga. What? Niggas was taking your shoes off your feet, nigga. Niggas is taking your Jordans off your feet, nigga. And chasing you in your socks. Niggas is still mad that they robbed you. Niggas is taking whatever you have on. And your pops better not come around here. because we beating him up too. What? You understand? This is a real thing. It was a thing to walk past niggas and don't turn around, because when you walk past, they staring at you. And the minute you turn around and look if they still staring, they go, what you looking at? And now you running for your life. Or you're fighting 8, 9 niggas. And that was just every day. That was just wreck. That was just what niggas did. It wasn't like it had to be beef. It means if I see you walking this way and you look at us, and niggas is talking to you with your corny ass nigga, nigga, and you turn around and look, oh, what's up for you? And that's if they didn't like your sneakers. That's just if they liked your sneakers, you ain't even have to turn around. They was coming up to you. What size is that? What, nigga? Boop, boop. That's how it went. Every day. All day. Niggas ain't had nothing else to do but beat niggas up and take things. That's what it was. Let's not even talk about the Decepts. Let's not even talk about niggas that joined these little crews. You had the Decepticons that run around. They had hammers in their hands. These niggas was hitting people with hammers. I told y'all about this. I'm in fucking 113 downtown Brooklyn. I'm trying to tell you how scary Brooklyn was. I'm in 113. We're in the yard running around. The Decepts come into the yard 20 deep and beat up a teacher. They didn't beat up the kids. They beat up a teacher. This is not supposed to be happening. This is the people that we listen to. Why is he getting his ass whipped by the gang of the hood? You got to think how that impacts the children. We're not safe from nobody. Nobody can keep us safe. They hit you with hammers. They come on the bus. They open the window on the bus and they throw you out the window. This is your life. Imagine that. And well, they would throw your book bag too. Like, get all this nigga shit off this bus. So they would take you, they throw you off the bus, and then you see the window open and out goes your book bag too. Understand, this was every day. This is not sometimes. This is every day. You're counting your days walking through Brooklyn. This was every day. There's people in this chat right now that's talking. They going to vouch for this. This was every day. These niggas was finding a Vic every day. And it wasn't just one. All that wilding, going to the Central Park 5, and niggas just going down through the village or go. Niggas was getting together to go beat random people up every day. And this was my life. No brothers, no fathers, nothing. Need I say facts? So, I need y'all to understand. This is razors cutting niggas' face. It's a fucking war zone. There was a time. Let me just explain a little bit more. When I moved to Nostrand, I'm in the park playing basketball. About 8, 9, I don't know. It was niggas. It was just a bunch of niggas. I don't know how many of it was. It was just a bunch of niggas. Walk through the park, guns in their hand. Where are we? Is this fucking Afghanistan? How are you niggas walking through the whole park, guns out? Walking like this is a fucking bottle of beer. Nigga, y'all not scared? The police? Nobody's scared. These niggas walking through the hood, guns in their hand to go handle what they gotta do. Nobody stopped them. You wanna know why? There wasn't enough police. David Dinkins, when I was growing up, he was a weak old man. Respectfully, I don't really know. I wasn't into politics, but it didn't get lit with police until Giuliani, which had to be mid-90s or some shit like that. But growing up, none of that was happening. The police was terrified. I remember I'm in the crib. I'm upstairs. You hear the shootout on the corner. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 bang, boom, 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 boom. Niggas is getting it in. These are the days where your parents tell you don't stand by the window because they scared the bullets is going to come through the window. This was an everyday occurrence. Ask your parents. This was real. You couldn't stand by the window because they were scared bullets might just come flying through. This is a lifestyle. Your parents knew about it. Everybody knew, right? I'm going somewhere, just chill. These niggas is banging it out on the corner. Banging it out. We in the crib like, oh shit. But me, I'm getting a little desensitized to it because it's just happening all the time. I go to the corner, right? You hear the police. They come to the middle of the block. I'm watching. I didn't hear it. I'm watching. The shit is going off in the corner. A doom, doom. I know I sound like Soulja Boy right now, but at least I'm not the one shooting. Right? This is a real story. I swear to God. They got to right before my house, maybe a house or two before my house. Lights on. They stopped the car. They turned the lights off. They backed up down the block. Bruh. What? What? Y'all niggas supposed to, you're the police. Go. Stop the shootout. These niggas like, nah, bro. You hear that artillery? I got a 38. What the fuck am I supposed to do? These niggas turned the lights off. They stopped the car, turned the lights off, and backed up down the block. I'm watching. I wish I had camera, cell phone to show. Like imagine if that happened today. Imagine if that happened today. Yes, Albany projects. Yes, Fort Greene. Yes, Red Hook. Yes, Nostrand. We're talking crazy. I need y'all to understand. I'm building this up. I need you to form this in your mind. This is crazy. This is where you're raising your children. This is crazy. Which is why I was hanging out on Bedford Avenue. It was quiet. You know what I'm saying? Now, before I hit the Nostrand, let me explain Bedford Avenue. Mike and Steve and I, we became little problems on our own little thing. I really don't want to get too much into that right now. That's a whole different story. But Mike was from Brownsville. He goes by Nino now. And he was Pop from the barbershop. You know, Biggie used to talk about Pop from the barbershop. That was his nephew. And so he was a troublemaker because his pop, you know, that was his family. That's how they gave it up. They was troublemakers or whatever. His cousin ran Brownsville houses. So he felt he had a name to uphold. So we used to get into stuff, right? And a lot of things happened over there. But we did it in darkness. Rob people, you know, we robbed stores, shit like that. We got our hand on this one shotgun. I forgot where we got it from. I'm going to talk to them about it and remind myself where we got it from. But I kept the shotgun. I had the guns. We started getting guns. And we were itching to use it. I guess because that's what was happening around us. One day, something happened and we backed the gun out on somebody, or I backed the gun out on somebody, and the gun didn't have no bullets. Not only didn't the gun have bullets, it was a 30-30. It was I think it was called a 30-30. And so I think you had to load it like once and then like do some shit. I can't really recall, but I had it in a duffel bag. I remember backing the nigga down, and then the nigga disappeared, and then he came back with like 4 niggas, and they all had guns. And so now I'm running from these niggas with the shotgun in the duffel bag. They're chasing me. I run into the corner store. I throw the gun somewhere. I'm hiding behind the popcorn, right? And just when they come in, Mike runs up, and Mike was stocky diesel. He was the knockout king. And he stopped them niggas from killing me. He stopped the niggas from killing me. Right there in the corner store. Right here on the corner. Niggas like, yo, that's my man, hold up, yo, whatever. And stop the whole shit. I come peeking out from behind the popcorn like. And, you know, because I really wasn't like that, right? I was trying to be like that, but I really wasn't like that. Mike was more like that. Steve was more of a man. He lived with his dad. So he knew he had man principles. And living with your father, you just had that. Shout out to his father, God bless. You know what I'm saying? I don't think his dad passed. But they both was trying to train me to be a man. They used to hit me in my chest, punch me in my chest. Stop flinching. Stop flinching. Stop flinching. Right? They would put the weight bench out in front of my crib, and we would lift weights and try to man me up. They was trying to man me up. Right? It was a lot of that going on. This is all around the time when I left, when I got kicked out of college and shit like that. They was really doing their best to, like, you know, give me a little body. Like, give me, like, when I say body, like an essence. Like, nigga, you can't be a scared little kid out here. You feel me? But we're still on Bedford. And the world is still going on around us. You feel me? Long story short, one day I'm walking down Nostrand, and something had happened between Mike and Steve and I. We just wasn't really banging like that for whatever reason. It wasn't like I just deserted him, but we wasn't banging like that for whatever reason. Mike and I had gone through a lot of stuff. That'd be in the book. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't going to address that right now. At the end of the day, I'm going to address one thing with Mike and Trom, because that points to, I think I've spoken about this before. Trom and I used to go to stores and rob the stores of Polo. Polo was big in New York, right? Polo, Ralph Lauren, was big in New York. So we would go to Long Island, or we'd go to these different stores that had Polo, and we would switch the tags. So now one shirt might cost $200. We would switch the tag with a pair of socks or a different shirt that comes up as $9.99. And we would do the whole thing, and the shit would come out to like $79, and we would get the fuck out of there. We'd always pick a cashier that don't know what the fuck going on. Some old lady, right? We would switch the tags, book it out of there. Now we got a whole wardrobe for $79 of dope Polo shit, right? And it was a big deal. Mike used to want to wear my clothes, right? So he would come grab the shows, because Polo was big for us all. And honestly, we shared everything. We ate together. We smoked together. We did everything together. We hung around chicks that we had sex with together. We all did, you know, the same thing. So it really wasn't a big deal. But at some point, I believe I got too big for my britches when it became to Mike and me. We always had a competition, but at some point, I became too big for my britches. And he showed up around here. I had jewelry on and shit. And he showed up around here, and no, when it comes to the gun, we just didn't have any bullets. We didn't have access to that. We just had the gun. We didn't. People asking, why didn't the gun have bullets? We didn't have any. We didn't even know where to get them from. Man, nobody was going to do all that. You have to understand. When you grow up around certain niggas that's like certain shit, they'll teach you how to do shit. When you just trying to be like that, you don't even know. I think Jay-Z had a song, right, on the American Gangster. We need a pitch, we need a mound. Like, I can't remember the song, but that's true. When you don't know, when you have no idea, you just don't know. There's no way, you know what you want, but you don't know how to get there. And that's kind of where we was on Bedford Avenue. We knew what we want, but we didn't know how to get there. Because we wasn't really part of the Brooklyn community, and that'll come in a minute. I'm gonna tell that story. This is gonna be a long story. I can't believe I've been talking for an hour now. Hope y'all are entertained. It's actually, my heart was palpitating when I started this, and I feel myself breathing more. So I must be. I can't. I'm still talking for a fucking hour. It's crazy. I felt the jealousy from my friend. Or some type of malice. He just didn't like me anymore for whatever reason. We didn't like each other. I'm not even gonna say, let me take that back. We didn't get along anymore. We was going through something, a real rift. The Bishop, the Q, the thing where you got the pack of niggas that hang with each other, and two of these niggas is just going at each other all the time. You could feel that it's gonna go left any moment. That was me and Mike. We was having a moment. We was having a real issue. You feel me? And so Mike had moved away. I was hanging out with niggas from the hood. You know what I'm saying? And one of them came. They used to store their guns here. And one of them came here and was like, yo, that nigga around the corner, he talking about he gonna rob you. He got some niggas with him. He said, when you come outside today, they gonna rob you. And I was like, yo, I was in the crib smoking with Tron. Tron was downstairs. We in the crib smoking it down. You know, you get together, y'all smoke, whatever. And I was like, don't even worry about it. I ain't coming outside today anyway. That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. He was like, all right, right? And the nigga walked off. I go back in the room. I'm smoking with Tron. And the training kicked in. I said, I can't have this nigga on my block talking about he gonna rob me, bro. Keep in mind, Mike is the stocky, knock every nigga out. That's what he did. Everybody, he's known for a dead arm. Knock you right out. Off your shoes, right out your shoes. This is who this nigga was. You feel me? And I was a skinny ass nigga, same as I am right now. All right? But something inside me said, I can't let that nigga say he gonna rob me and not pull up. I don't care who over there. I ain't have no guns. I think I had given them the guns, right? So I didn't have no guns. I get in the car and Trom is at some point is like, yo, I'm gonna come with you. And I looked at Trom and I said, nah, you can't. It's not your life. I thought about Trom's family, his moms, his pops, his brother. I thought about my friendship with him. And I knew I can't do that to you. This is real, what I'm going into. These niggas got guns. These niggas is serious. This is serious shit. You go home. Theo, go home. You feel me? And he did. And that's the difference between me and Tron. And I think, I don't know where this sentence is going. I wouldn't have went home. Nigga, you going over there, I'm going over there. But that's a difference in our upbringing and our knowledge of self and the way that we friend. And that is not, I don't mean that as a judgment towards him. All I'm saying is I was not leaving my friend to go die or whatever the fuck is about to happen. That's all I'm saying. I would not do that. I understand how he was raised, and this is not his life, and this is obviously a life that I chose for myself. And I understand the initial like, yo, I'll go, but there's a certain sacrifice with I'll go with you to this hood environment that I don't come from, that he didn't have to do. It just wasn't. So the offer was fine, but I dropped him off at his girlfriend's house. I went and got me a 40. Yes, a big ass 40 bottle of beer. And I started drinking it in the car. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, Old E. Y'all know it. I was drinking Old E. And I pulled up and I sat in the car. The nigga came up to the car. Yo, get out the car. I was like, I am in a second. I had a knife with me. But I stuffed the knife in the side seat because I wasn't about stabbing my friend. I wasn't going to stab him. You know what I mean? I didn't know what I was going to do, to be honest. I just knew I couldn't let the hood see me go out like that. And I got out the car. And I stood there. Everybody's around. Everybody. It had to be 30, 20, something like that. The girls, niggas, old ladies, everybody's around, right? But this is a back street. This is Jefferson Ave. This is a back street. There's not no real action going over there. Remember, this is around the Bedford Avenue days. This is around the time where that kind of ended for me, right? But I'm telling this for a reason. At some point, Mike comes up to me and he's like, yo, you think you all that? Yo, this something of a, he talking mad shit. And I'm just looking at the nigga because this was my brother. This was my brother. Like, nigga, we done fuck chicks together. You wanna wear my clothes. You feel me? Like, everything, bro. And you over here trying to show off in front of these niggas who wasn't, like, we had a core group. Me, Steve, Fabe, Damien, like, it was like 4 of us. We was a core group. And now you over here with these niggas, with all respect to the other niggas that we hung around, but we had a core group. And you basically trying to, like, throw me out. Like, you trying to, like, bitch me out. Like, so I'm just looking at the nigga like, I'm just looking at him like, you know what I'm saying? Wow, this do-rag look crazy without the glasses. But I'm just looking at the nigga like, and the nigga turns to his man and he's like, yo, get this nigga, right? I don't know what, you know what I'm saying? Now, get this nigga, I don't know what that means. I don't know if y'all know what that means, but that means rob this nigga. In the 80s, 90s, and the 90s, that means rob this nigga. That don't mean like beat you up. You gotta be like, yo, get this nigga is more beat you up. But get this nigga, like the change in tone means rob this nigga. You know what I'm saying? So the nigga standing there with the gun, and I'm looking at his man, and I'm kind of just screw facing his man like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Mm-hmm. This man just standing there. And so the nigga might go back to the nigga, yo, get this nigga. So he's trying to make his man rob me, right? That his man is not from around here. His man is from Brownsville. Him, his man, and the other person, I don't know, I think it was a girl, or it was like 2 of them. I can't remember right now. But they was from Brownsville, right? So he had brought them over here to rob me. You feel me? The nigga leaned in. He spoke something to Mike. And Mike said something back to him. Meanwhile, this is supposed to be a robbery. But now they're communicating. They're like talking. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. You feel me? And the nigga Mike grabs the gun and puts it to my face. Yo, take all that shit off. And I just look at the nigga. No. And he like, ooh. And he like starts acting like he gonna do it. And he gives the gun back to his man. He said, yo, you lucky I love you, son. And I just hit the nigga with the 40. And just start fighting the nigga. Keep in mind, I forgot to tell y'all, I have a full leg cast on because I broke my knee. So I start fighting this nigga, and this nigga's big. So I'm trying to fight him, but I don't really have no stance because my leg is fucked up. But I done cracked him in the head with a 40, so he's all disoriented. So I'm just trying to get to the nigga like, we fighting. And my other nigga just kind of walks up behind his man, just knocks the nigga out. Boom! And then somebody slapped the bitch. And Mike now he stops fighting me, and he sees the whole hood is starting to fight, fuck up his niggas. Like boop doo 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 doo. And I'm just standing there looking at the nigga like, yo, you a fucking coward, nigga. You a fucking coward, nigga. Like you really like, and niggas start beating his man's up, and his man start running. They grabbed the gun or they backed out to him and they shot the nigga. Bow! And they shot Shorty. Bow! But they didn't fall. They just, shot them. Boom, boom, as they ran up the block. And then they looked at Mike and said, yo, some corny shit you just did, bro. It's your brother, bro. And don't you ever in your life bring somebody else around here to rob one of us. Nigga, y'all handle that like brothers. And the nigga Mike was just standing there like, oh, shit. The reason I told that story is because now I'm me. That moment changed me. Because in that moment, I was in the house and I wasn't even gonna come outside. And then I protected my brother from coming outside, from coming to the block. Trom. I protected him from coming. And then I fought my other brother. No matter the consequences, gun in his hand, everything, fought him. Something changed. Right there. Something clicked. The respect in the hood changed too. Because them niggas, earlier when Mike came around talking about he was gonna rob me, these niggas was like, all right, cool. We gonna wait for the nigga to come out. But I guess they must have convened with each other like, what, he gonna rob, he gonna rob Tahoe? Like, that's crazy. I wasn't Tahoe yet, by the way, but he gonna rob him? So these niggas told Mike, yo, the D's is down the block, the detectives is down the block. Give us the guns. We gonna put the guns in the crib so that they don't run up on us. So Mike gave the nigga the guns. These niggas took the guns in the house and took all the bullets out the gun. Then they came and got me. Then they went to me. So these niggas was testing me the whole time, bro. This was all a test. I was never in danger. Then they came to my crib and was like, yo, the nigga around the corner talking about he gonna rob you. At that point, I had already told them, yo, I'm not even coming outside. You feel me? So they went back around the corner, whatever, but they never put the bullets back in the nigga guns. So when the nigga Mike told the nigga, yo, get this nigga, the nigga must have known wasn't no bullets in the gun. So he was probably standing there like, yo, I think we're in danger. They took the bullets out the gun. We keep in mind, I didn't know none of this, right? So the nigga must have been like, why would they take the bullets out the gun? Right? When he gets the gun to go back me down, he realized ain't no bullets in the gun. So he tells Mike, he probably like, yo, they took the bullets out the gun. And he's like, what? Yo, they took the bullets out the gun. And so the nigga Mike he tried to finish the thing just off of fear. But this is my brother. If it was another nigga that did it like that, but this is my brother. So I don't feel that same type of fear. You feel me? Gun or not. And so when he went to get a nigga the gun back, that's when shit got rocking. But all in all, now I have respect from this block. And these is killers. These niggas are stone cold killers. These are niggas that later on in this book I went to war with. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever. Anyway, I lost my friend that day. And then I also knew I couldn't hang out with Trom no more. wasn't like that. Like I wasn't mad at him, but we lived two different lives, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? We lived two different lives, and I'm caught up in this, and you can't be around this. You feel me? So start hanging out by myself a lot more. Stop going around the corner more. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while I go over there, we do a robbery, some shit like that. But stayed around myself a lot more. Didn't there's other stories happen, whatever. But finally, to get to where the story is actually going, that was a hell of a fucking intro, right? One day I'm walking down the block with this girl, the girl that I was ready to kill for, Denise, and I'm on the crutches because of my leg is still in the cast. And there was this guy I had seen around. Now this guy was a pillar of the neighborhood, super pillar of the neighborhood. I had seen him. He was scary. He was icon. He was an icon. You saw him. You saw Burger. Yes, the nigga name was Burger. And you saw Rondu. These eventually became my friends. Burger at one point saved my life. That's all in the book, but I knew Burger from before that, but I'll talk about that later. In any case, this guy, his name was G Young, and you would see him walk through the hood like it was his for so long, right? You would see him playing basketball in the tournaments, and he was the nicest nigga by far of any nigga in the tournaments. Nice, crazy, cutting niggas up, making niggas run into each other and shit. He's just going crazy on the court, like, and then with the swag too, right? And he was somebody that you admired, but you were scared of. He wasn't scary though. He was just Brooklyn. He was extremely Brooklyn. And there's a difference between the real Brooklyn and the niggas that live there. Like the niggas that just lived in Brooklyn. Like there's the difference between the niggas that were the block. This is you. And the niggas that live on the block. There's just a difference. You feel me? And he was the block. There's a few of them. There's a few of the people over there that were the block. They know who they are. You know what I'm saying? You got DB, you got Dre, you got a few of them. I'm just name them just in case they listening. Yes, we know. We know. Don't, fuck that nigga. Yeah, we know. You was the block too, nigga. Chill. Chill. We already know why we here. You know what I mean? Relax. You know what I'm saying? But you would see these niggas, as I'm growing up around here, you would see these niggas everywhere. They were the block. And while you doing your little Bedford thing, these niggas come through and shut it down, and then they keep it moving, whatever it was. Basketball, whether it was hustling, whether it was talking to niggas, whether it was grabbing chicks, you knew the niggas that was lit like that. And he was one of them. And so I stayed away from them niggas. Because whatever I'm pulling off on Bedford is definitely not this, right? These niggas could call I went to Bronx Science. Like, you could call my card. These niggas is the street. I might be selling my little weed over here. I might have this little 30-30 with no bullets, but you know these niggas got it like that. These niggas is down. They know everybody. And this is the thing about Brooklyn back then, that I don't know if it's the same now because I'm not outside, but everybody in Brooklyn knew each other. I mean, everybody. But that's wrong. The real Brooklyn knew each other. All the real Brooklyn niggas knew each other. And Brooklyn is huge, right? But if you was a real nigga in Albany Projects, you knew the real niggas in LG. You knew the real niggas in Fort Greene. You knew the real niggas up on this side, on that block. All the real niggas knew each other. And whether they got into it at one point or there was just a respect level, but to recognize everybody knew each other, right? And then you had the rest of the Brooklyn who just lived there. I was part of the rest of Brooklyn that just lived there. But these niggas, your Dre, your DB, your G Young, your Burger, your Ron Dews, the niggas from Fort Greene, like the 50 Cent, these niggas all knew each other, right? These are the niggas that when Big got on, when Biggie got on, they all went with Big to parties. They all went and celebrated with Big. You feel me? When shit was going on, real Brooklyn shit, they was all there. So I'm just getting introduced to this life. Well, I didn't explain how. Yeah. 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 The real Brooklyn niggas knew where to get bullets, as somebody said. The real Brooklyn niggas knew where to get bullets. So they actually had working guns. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Christina. Thank you for that. Oh shit, let me hit my vape. Y'all got me stressed. Tanae, leave me alone. Because I know you watching me hit the vape and you thinking he said he was gonna quit. Just not right now, yo. There's time and place. Time and place. God. Huh. Jeez, you go with that vape. In any case, G Young was this iconic figure to me. One day I'm walking down Nostrand Avenue with my girl. And the only reason I was walking down Nostrand Avenue this day was because I had to walk her home or some shit. And I had my crutches. And he came over to me. And he said, yo, why you don't come around the corner? And I said, huh? I didn't know him. He said, yo, come hang out with us. Come to the corner, bro. You ain't got to sit on that block all day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you got going on over there, but this is where it's at, bro. Come over here. And I was like, all right, all right, all right. And although it sounded like an invitation, it wasn't. Because if I didn't, it was like, now I'm avoiding them, right? But I was intrigued because why me? There's thousands of guys my age around here. Why me, right? You want me to hang out on this corner with these 30 niggas that I used to be scared of? But I wound up dropping her off. And maybe a week or a couple days later, I pulled up on the corner. And he asked me my name. I swear this is how it happened. I did not know this nigga. He asked me my name and like what I'm into. I told him my work and shit like that, whatever. And he's like, yeah, I be seeing you with Shorty, whatever. Right? I mean, it was cool. At that time, that block was so lit. The ladies were hanging out in the yard. They used to have a table out front. They would play like cards and dominoes, and they was doing all of this movement. It was just so much movement. It was 30, 40 people. I keep using the words 30, but y'all understand when I say 30, it's just a lot of motherfuckers, right? But it was a lot of motherfuckers. Literally, it was a lot of motherfuckers. It was more than 10. It was, I don't know if it's more than 20. I would say around 30 because we talking about the girls, the niggas hustling. It was just so many people everywhere. It was completely opposite from Bedford Avenue. It was fucking crazy, right? And he started introducing me to everybody. Now, Burger was over there. And me and Burger knew each other from when I played basketball. I used to play basketball. And Burger was like with all due respect to Burger wasn't G Young. He was more reserved. He had like a scowl on his face. And he would always say like hateful shit. You know what I'm saying? He would always say like hateful, corny shit, bro. And Me and him we ain't take to each other because he knew me from when I was playing basketball. I knew him. He wasn't no lit nigga on Bedford. So I looked at him a certain way, like, you know what I'm saying? But now he hangs out over here, and now you that nigga, and I don't know. We just didn't take to each other. You feel me? So me and him always had a thing, and started coming around more and more, and I just met so many people over there that it became my home. That became my home. Everybody called me Kai because my name is Sakai. That was my real name. That is my real name, Sakai. Actually, Sakai. But yeah, if you call me that and we haven't had sex, I will smack the shit out you. I promise you. Don't go throwing my name around like that. If we have not fucked, call me what you know me as. Don't disrespect me. Okay? Leave that alone. I'm just in a very vulnerable moment right now. Don't fuck around. Okay? You have been warned. In any case, me and Burger's outside one day, and all of us is outside. It's a whole block of people. For a lot of people that keep asking you, where'd you get the name Tahoe from? Whatever. And look at this fucking girl. Here we go. These motherfuckers don't listen. Yeah, they in the chat. Sakai. Like, come find me, nigga. You ain't gonna do shit. You fake fuck out of here. Fake Brooklyn nigga. You ain't gonna do shit. We outside one day and they like, yo, we gotta give you a name, my nigga. We gotta give you a name. And Burger, this was going on for weeks. And then Burger, like, he must have seen the Tahoe truck pass by. And he was like, yo, that's what we gonna call it. Because the nigga kept calling me Ty. But everybody called me Kai because of my name, Sakai. Everybody, he was calling me Ty, but I felt that he was hating when he would do that. Because that's not even I don't even have a T in my name. Why you keep calling me Ty, bro? You know what I'm saying? And so one day he's like, I know what we gonna call you. We gonna call you Tahoe. And I'm like, my nigga, that don't even make sense. First of all, I don't have no T in my name. You keep calling me Ty. You know my name is Kai. You know what I'm saying? This turned into a whole thing, bro. Me and Burger was out there arguing, yelling for fucking hours. And there's one thing I could do. I could argue. And I was trying to prove myself. You know what I'm saying? So you're not just gonna disrespect me. I was never no sucker. Well, I was when I was younger, but at some point I wasn't no sucker no more, right? I was still scared of niggas in a way, but I had the stamp from G Young. So now I'm, you know what I mean? I'm acting the part. So me and him arguing. You feel me? And that went on for the rest of the day. And then the next day I come outside and like the old ladies on the corner or walking by is like, Tahoe, can you come help me with these bags? And the little kids is running by because everybody's seen the spectacle from this is entertainment for people on the corner, seeing two niggas arguing and out of there going back and forth. Fuck you, nigga. Going back and forth. Tahoe, yeah, Tahoe. And then the kids is running by, hey, Tahoe. And all of the hustling niggas are going, yo, Tahoe, yo, come here. Yo, walk me over here. Yo, Tahoe. And it just became a thing. And after a while, I accepted it because it felt like acceptance. It felt like I finally belonged. That's the story about my name. And so that became my shit, right? But getting back to me and G Young. G Young was an enigma. He was an enigma to me. He always had on new clothes. He always had wads of money this big, but he never left that corner. Now, I understood weed selling, but weed selling is a very slow process, right? It's not a fast thing. Well, back then it definitely wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So you would get a little bit of money. Maybe you had this much money. but he had this much money. And he dressed in Iceberg, and he dressed in Coogee, and he dressed in like Gucci. Like he had all of the fly shit, right? And Berger did too. So one day I come home from work. This is when I'm working in the city, and Ji Young is like, yo, Tahoe or Kai, whatever the fuck my name was at the time. This is very early in me hanging out over there. Me and him just started hanging out more and more. Me and him. It was 30 people over there, but it became a me and Ji Young thing. And I was attracted to him. Not physically, but his energy, his glow. Like I was so attracted to him, I started talking like him. I started walking like him. I was literally emulating his whole thing. And it was very noticeable to people out there. They was like, yo, this nigga think he Ji Young. This nigga think he Ji Young. Look how he walk. Look. Right? It was a thing. And I'm being super honest. Like, because that's really what happened. I found direction in Ji Young and camaraderie and everything that I was scared of, he kind of protected me from. Everything that I had avoided my whole life, he was, and made me feel like I was too. He spoke about me to everybody out there with love and protection, like you not gonna fuck with him. Nah, you ain't gonna do nothing to him. And they listened. They welcomed me because he welcomed me. And so shit, there were times when we would be outside. I remember one time he was like, yo, hold these for me. And it was these little white packs of plastic with like a powdery substance in them. And he was like, yo, hold these for me. And I didn't know what that was. I didn't know. I'm just holding two. He's like, give me two. And I give him two. And he'd be like, give me one more. Give me one more. But he would never bust the licks in front of me. So I didn't even know what this was. And because he's like, yo, hold it, don't let nobody see it. I would just hold it and not let nobody see it. So even when not letting nobody see it, I was never looking at it neither. You got to remember, there's a brilliance about Nostrand Avenue. It's busy. It's Broadway. There's a million shit going on. So I was still getting acclimated at that point, so that I was just kind of doing whatever he told me to do. But we started doing things together. Like he'd be like, yo, one time I remember he was like, yo, you got your car? And I used to have, I don't know what kind of car I had. I think I got my grandmother's car or some shit like that. I had a car. And I was like, yeah. He was like, yo, drive me somewhere. Come on, roll up. And we got in the car and we smoked and we smoked and we drove all the way to the fucking Bronx. And when we got to the Bronx, we went to like an auto dealer. And he was like, I'm buying this car. And I was like, huh? How? He was like, I'm buying it and I'm driving it back right now. The nigga's gonna put his plates on the car and I'm driving it back right now. And I was like, you got a license? He was like, no. I was like, you know how to drive? He was like, no. And this nigga, he said, just drive slow in front of me and I'm gonna figure it out. And when I tell you I'm a driver, I've always been a driver, because even when I was on Bedford, I was a getaway driver. Like, there's a whole bunch of that, right? Whatever. But I'm good at that. I've always been really good at that. And this nigga's behind me, and the car is like swerving off the road, and it's like putting along, and you can see who he speeds up, and when he brakes is mad hard. And but he drove that car back to Brooklyn, and that was crazy to me, because I'm running around with a gun that ain't even got no bullets, and this nigga is doing whatever the fuck he want with life, bro. Whatever the fuck. You just wake up one day and buy a car? That's it. You just woke up one day and buy a car? You didn't have no job. How you got a car money? You just, that had to be like 3-4 grand. You just bought a car? That shit was like mind blowing to me, right? That this is real. And I know the world is different now. We was part of that. The world is different now. And I'm going to explain why we was part of that. Yes, on the highway. Yes. The world is different now. We the world, the internet and everything has educated so much in hip hop, and the expectation of luxury and a certain lifestyle has made everybody kind of grow up faster than we were growing up back then. I didn't back then, nigga. I mean, probably now, niggas. A lot of niggas didn't even cross the Brooklyn Bridge. You stayed on your block, you hustled there, you died there. That was your life right there. Now you see niggas in Atlanta, you see niggas in Dubai, you see niggas in fucking all over the place. Niggas got G wagons. Like niggas, what? That wasn't a thing, bro. It wasn't a thing. You stayed on your block. I was a working nigga, right? So remember, I wasn't a nigga. I was a nigga that lived there. So me seeing one of them niggas in the city, I remember I seen Ron Do in the city one day. I was like, what the fuck? Because them niggas never did shit like that. In any case, a couple days after he bought the car, he was like, yo, get dressed. We going to a concert tonight. And I was like, what? Okay. Because I ain't have concert money, but I did what I was told. And the nigga Burger comes around. Burger got shopping bags. So Burger became a booster. From wherever he started from to now, he knew how to boost. And he would go out and get these niggas, him, Rondu, G Young, clothes. So that's where the iceberg and all of that shit come from. Burger would go in the stores. He would do whatever he'd do. This particular day he comes out. He has a bag with shoes in it or sneakers. He busts out these Bally sneakers. Young gets the Bally sneakers. He busts out these other sneakers. Rondu got those. He has different bags with outfits in it. These niggas get fly. We all get in G Young's car. Hodge was another guy that was down with that. He had a bottle of champagne in the car. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. I was drinking 40s. Matter of fact, when I got over there, the niggas made me stop drinking beer. They was like, nigga, who the fuck you think you Dr. Dre? I never forget that. It's like, is this nigga drinking beer? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, nigga? You're like 23. Why are you drinking beer? Nigga, we drink liquor. Like, why are you running your fucking video? Niggas said, yo, you're a music video. Like, nobody drinks beer, my nigga. What are you doing? That's not even fly. That's not fly shit. And this is what Nostrum was that Bedford wasn't. Nostrum was fly shit. You feel me? Nostrum was like, you get fly. You bag chicks. You drive dope vehicles. Like, that's what it was. Bedford was you just did whatever because you was in the dark and there wasn't no bitches over there. You didn't even know, right? This is all gonna end soon, y'all. I just want to explain to y'all the difference. And Hodge has a bottle of champagne, and I'm like, what are we celebrating? And he's like, life, nigga. And they pass out the cups in the car, and we drinking champagne riding to Madison Square Garden. And I didn't understand that. I did not understand that. Because why are we drinking champagne at 6 o'clock at night on our fucking Thursday, Friday, whatever it was, right? Like, this is just what niggas do? You just riding around drinking champagne? Obviously, nowadays, maybe you might do that. But back then, we drank Old E. We drank 64 gallons of Old E. It was the big one with the fucking hook on the side, and you pour your cup with that, and it was a big-ass thing of beer. And these niggas was like, nah, that's not us, nigga. We fly. And we got to the concert, we parked the car, and we walk in, and there's, again, 30 niggas. Oh shit, I just realized what the name of this shit gonna be. Hold on. These niggas is the scariest looking niggas I've ever seen. These niggas is from Albany projects, Fort Greene, all different types of places. I wound up finding that out later. But this is when I found out that all of these niggas knew each other. This is when I found out how extensive the network of real Brooklyn niggas are and how connected they are. And you know what I mean? Like, this is just crazy, right? And I probably told this story before on here, but if you've heard it, you're going to hear it again. Fuck it, it is what it is. And then you'll read it. Hopefully, if you get the book, you'll read it, right? But these niggas start dapping each other up, right? Oh, matter of fact, I forgot. Wasn't even there yet. So when you walk up to Madison Square, before we meet the niggas, right? We park the car. We walk up to Madison Square Garden. Anytime you go to a concert arena in the city, well, Madison Square Garden, I can't say anytime, but they have the gates, like the police gates that control crowds, and you form a line along that gate. You feel me? Now, when you're walking up Madison Square Garden, there's stairs to walk up, and then you walk through the courtyard to get to the actual building. But because this is a rap concert, and it's back when rap concerts weren't even like that, there's probably one or two before that. I think this is the No Way Out tour, right? Police barricade. You feel me? Yes, a police barricade. You have to walk up that step. There's an usher at the top of the step. You show him your ticket in order to walk through the courtyard to get to the building, and then you go through, that whole process at the building. So there's like a line outside that's crazy. So we skip the line, of course. We don't do lines. We skip the line. And we have one ticket. Yes, we have one ticket. Burger has one ticket. So what the play was, Ji-Young says, "Stay with me." Burger shows the usher the ticket, then like bumps the usher and passes with his so he bumps the usher with his right arm and passes the ticket behind him with his left arm. Right? Hodge grabs the ticket. He switches it to his other hand. He shows the usher the ticket. Somehow he does the same thing, passes it, right? Everybody does that, except until it gets to me. And you want to know why? I'm going to tell you why. As I'm walking along this police barricade, I don't know if y'all remember the farmer's pants. Back in the day, they were like jeans, and on one side of the pants, they had like two small pockets around the knee. Right around the side of the kneecap, there was like two small pockets. And on the other side, the other leg, around that same area or so, was a hoop. I don't know why that hoop is there, but it was. And we bought these jeans. This is just what it was. I don't know if they was Jabos. I don't know what the fuck that they was, but they had a hoop on it. And that probably wasn't the best thing for me to wear that day, because as I'm walking up the steps, as I get to the usher, right when Young grabs the ticket, my hoop got stuck on the connecting thing of the police barricade. So you know how the police barricade has that bar that goes through the hoop that keeps it together? My hoop gets stuck on the police barricade. And now people are pushing, you know how lines are. Everybody's trying to get through. So now my hoop is stuck on the barricade and people are trying to push me through, but I can't move. Young grabs the ticket. All you see is him trying to fucking give me the ticket. He's reaching, yo, this nigga arm was this, and that's love. Because this nigga really was trying to give me. This nigga's really trying to get me the ticket so I could get in, but I'm stuck on the barricade. So I can't get off, right? So Young has to keep going. Finally, I rip my pants. So now I got a hole in my jeans because that fucking hoop was strong as fuck. So I ripped the whole shit, ripped my pants. I got a hole inside of my jeans now, right? And I go up to the usher. I'm looking for the ticket. I don't know where the fucking ticket at is. I just do some shit like this. Here, I got this. And I try to bump past and move. He's like, yo, that ain't no ticket. Where's your ticket? And I'm like, this ain't a ticket? Oh, shit. All right, hold on. Let me look. Damn, my bad, bro. I don't know. Hold on. I don't know. Here come Young. Yo, stupid nigga, I got your ticket. And he gives me the ticket. The usher's so confused. I'm like, oh, my bad. He must have had my ticket. And we just bust a move. We go through. This is, bro, just think about how crazy this is. That this one move worked for 4 niggas, right? And then they hustle so fast and hard that even in that moment, he wasn't giving a fuck about that usher. He came back with the ticket and was like, nigga, I got your ticket here, man. And got me in. This was the lifestyle, bro. We figured it out. We figured it. It was always like, yo, there's nothing stopping us, nigga. We gonna figure life out. That's what it was. You feel me? Boom. This nigga fucked up the ticket trick. Yes, I fucked up the ticket trick. Now we go inside again. $30 niggas. Albany, Fort Greene, Fulton Projects, Gates, Avenue, you know what I mean? The Star, just niggas, just mad niggas. Young says to me again, yo, these niggas dapping each other up. These niggas like, yo, y'all ready? They're like, yeah, let's do it. These niggas dapping each other up. Young says, stay with me. I'm like, all right. Hole in my pants and everything. These niggas walk up. So as you know, if you're going through any concert arena, you got to go through the turnstile, right? And then you're in. You gotta show security, you know, whatever you got in you take whatever out your pockets or whatever. These niggas walk right up to that, just started hitting niggas. But doom, just start dropping ushers. And I'm talking about they dropped all of them. Boop, bop, and just took off through the arena. I'm like, and I just start running. I'm just running. I hop the shit. Everybody hop the shit. I'm just right behind Young. Young is just going through. Everybody's going through. Every time they see a usher, boom, just knock them out. Boom, boom. Up the escalators, more ushers coming out. This shit like a motherfucking John Wick movie. They just knocking niggas out. Doop, doop, doop. Bro, this is not Bedford Avenue. No, what the fuck am I doing? These are felonies. What the fuck am I doing? I'm running through the escalators, watching, stepping over niggas. They trying to grab you, nigga. Now, Madison Square Garden is interesting because you can't just run into the bottom deck. You have to go all the way up. And then you work your way down somehow. I don't really know, right? But you have to go all the way up. So we're running up the escalators. 30 niggas running up the escalators, punching people in the face, right? And then finally you open the doors and you hear Foxy on stage. Ain't no nigga like the one I got. Ain't, whatever that song was or whatever she was singing at the time. I think it was Ain't No Nigga Like One. And I'm like, oh shit, bro. We are in, right? But these niggas not done. Now, you know, when you come out, you open the door, you're in the hallway where you buy your popcorn and your beer and your drinks and everything. You're in that area, right? But now you go into the concert arena, and once again, we start running. These niggas running down the steps, hop over to the thing below. Hop over. This is what we was doing. Anybody that goes to concert arenas, you know, if you were in the upper mezzanine, you get down to the thing, to the rail, and then you got to hop over to the next thing. Nobody's doing that. We was doing that. We hopped over and then we did it again and we hopped over and we did it again. And anybody that got in our way got knocked out to the point where we at the very floor, bro. We hop over, we get to the floor. Now we just merge into everybody else. We walk up to the stage. I'm standing at the stage, bro. Mace is on the stage with his diamonds. I can see the diamonds in his watch. I'm at the stage, bro. We're about 30 deep at the stage. And Hodge passes me the champagne. And I just look at Hodge and he's just like, yeah, nigga, this is what we do. And I'm start drinking the champagne bottle at the stage. Niggas got weed. My world opened up so much, bro. Young showed me this life. Keep in mind, Young never wanted me to hustle. He never wanted me to hustle. He always told me, yo, you a working nigga, stay a working nigga. You don't need to get involved with this shit, son. We'll be here when you get out. We'll wait for you. These niggas used to wait for me. Whenever we went and did something at night, they waited for me to get home from work in my suit and tie. Then they would be like, go get dressed. He would give me some clothes. Go get dressed. Go put this on. Right? Problem was, these niggas is dressing in iceberg and shit, and I'm dressing in like polo. And I couldn't keep up like that. I needed more. You know what I'm saying? It took me weeks to save up for an iceberg shirt. And I'm buying that with working money. And these niggas is making $3,500 a day selling crack on the corner. Got to a point where the chicks might have found me cute. I remember I've told this story before. I started selling weed and shit. All of this, like, I'm speeding through right now. But we was messing with these 3 girls, and I had the baddest one. Well, Mika was the baddest. Well, they was all bad. I'm gonna keep it real. Now that I think about it, all of them was fire in their own way, right? They was all fire. But I had this one that I really liked. I liked them all, but whatever. I'm taking her to my house. I used to knock her down every once in a while, and she was like, yo, I really like you, yo. Like, I'll fuck with you, but like, I need things. And you don't have the things. Like, you can't. Like, your mans and them got that, you know, but you don't have it. And I'm like, well, they sell crack and I sell weed. And she was like, so why don't you sell crack? And that influence, or the influence of basically the outside or the life, it dragged me in. It drew me in to the point where I started hustling. But Young never wanted me to hustle, bro. We would talk about all things all the time. He became so human to me. It was my best friend. He would call me. He knew my mom's. If I needed help with something, he would come help me. Like, this is a nigga that I grew up being scared of, or like, you know, not anxious around. But you understand what I'm saying? That you look at somebody with a hesitance, like, you know, it's just off-putting, their presence. And now he's my best friend, and he would come, you know, nigga, we done slept in the same room. We done had sex with chicks together, and just wilding. You feel me? Wilding. There are times when I saw him crying, and, you know, where nobody else would see him like that. Nobody else would see him like that. And, you know, that all of that goes into this situation, but into the, you know, when I tell this story, when I tell my life story for real, because so much I skip, but he became superhuman to me. But also, he taught me everything. He taught me how to dress. Shut up. Shut up. I know how to dress, okay? I just don't really care about it anymore because I want to take care of my family. And I haven't been a super get jiggy nigga in a long time. I'm more concerned about getting $2. That term, getting $2, I got that from Young. he taught me what was missing in life. What me, not just like anybody, but like what I was looking for. And I've said this a few times. I didn't have a father, an active father. I didn't have a brother. I didn't feel at home in Brooklyn. He gave me all of that. They gave me my name. They told me how to deal with so many different situations. Young. When he went through some shit, I was right there. Fuck that. And the fact is that because I had that training on Jefferson and Bedford, see, that's the difference though. Young was a pretty boy. He was ugly. I'm gonna keep it real. Young was not attractive in the face, but he knew how to talk to women. He had this aura about him that women just flocked to him. He always had the baddest chicks, always. No matter how cute this other nigga was, Young was getting the baddest chicks. He knew how to talk to them. He knew how to game them. I remember one time he's in the bar or a club, right? At this point, he has like the S5 or some shit like that. He sees a chick he likes. He just walks up to her as she's walking by or something like that. He just puts his car keys in her hand. And she looked at the car keys and he just said, yo, don't leave without me. And he walked away. And that shit worked. It worked. She come up to him later. Why did you give me your car keys? And he starts smiling at her and flirting at her. Yo, come get a drink. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, it was a risk I was willing to take. Whatever. And the next thing you know, she's in the passenger seat. I'm in the back seat. And he dropped me off and he went off with Shorty. It worked. Don't leave without me. What? With the S5 key? Huh? Of course, the shit say Benz on it, so you know what I mean? Like, that's already going to be like a draw for a chick, but don't leave without me? What? Fire, son. Fire, son. But he just had that swag with chicks, you know what I mean? And over time, though, I learned too much, I think. Because me and him started having problems. When I started hustling, I hustled big. He showed me how to hustle big. Because he didn't want me to hustle, but once I did, I'm out here. It's so funny. The first time I hustled, I got arrested for selling crack. The very first day that I started selling crack, I got arrested for selling crack. And I was going to jail. Absolutely. This is a fact. I'm on a bike. Like, something happened. I got at work. They wouldn't give me a promotion. I was tired of working 12-hour days, 7-day week. And I went and got me some crack. I got fired on purpose or whatever. They made sure they was like, well, we still going to give you unemployment because we like you, but you can't work here no more acting the way you acting. Fine. And the next day or 2 days later, I went out and got some crack. And Young didn't even give it to me. He did not want me to do that. And the block is hot. I don't understand what the block is hot is because I'm still very green. Although I'm standing out there with him, you got to be in it to really know. You got to be in it. Like, you could stand around all you want, but that don't mean you understand what's really going on. You know what I mean? So I was around a lot, but I didn't understand the inner workings of what's happening on this block with these drugs and with the customers and with the police. Like, I didn't get it all. I was just there. You feel me? And they come, they catch me. They caught the whole bomb too. The bomb meaning every bit of crack that I had on me, they found it. When they caught me, I was on a bike. They knocked me over. The crack goes everywhere. They locked me up for all of the crack. Why would you have all of that crack on you? I don't know. Nobody does that. Why would you just have a handful of crack or a bomb full of crack? Like, nigga, put that away and you go get, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have somebody hold it for you. You go get one, you go get two, like I told you in the story. And no. I had the whole thing on me. So when they knocked over the bike or whatever that I was on a bike, and they arrested me. They took me down to the precinct. And they question me. They question me. They have a whole folder on niggas, and they see me there, but they don't have nothing on me personally. So they're like, "Yo, what are you doing? Like, we see you here. You got a suit on. You know, we see you around, but you're not one of those." So, and I'm like, "Yo, I got fired yesterday, and my girl is pregnant, and I just feel I didn't know what to do. I just kind of like, I'm panicking. I'm trying to figure life out." I'm telling the police officer that because I don't even know that you're not even supposed to be talking to police. But at the end of the day, I'm talking, right? Whatever. And they're like, "You got to snitch. Tell us where you got the crack." And I'm like, "I'm not doing that. Y'all niggas, that's not, I don't even know. I found it. I don't know. Can't remember what I told them, but there's no way I was telling them that. I did tell them, I told them like where there was some weed spots at. Like, "Yo, y'all want something?" That's all I know. I smoke weed, bro. You go to the weed spots. You know what I'm saying? They like, "Bro, we don't want no weed spots, whatever." So I'm like, "Yo, honestly, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell y'all." And that's on my kids. That's on everything in life. I did not rat on nobody, but I did tell them where the weed spots was at. And so the niggas was like, "Well, you ain't giving us no option. You gonna go to jail for selling crack." And I was like, so one of the cops was like, "Yo, is there any way we could verify your story?" And I was like, "Call my baby mother. I live with her right now. Call her." They called my baby mother. They asked her, "Does he have a job?" She's like, "No, he got fired yesterday." "Are you pregnant?" "Yes, I'm 7 months pregnant." They're like, okay, this makes sense. So they come back in the room, and the cop says, that same cop, he comes back in the room and he says like, "Yo, I'm gonna let you go because your baby mother verified your story, but I don't want to see you no more. I don't want to see you no more. You don't want to get involved in this life." And I was like, "All right, thank you. I really appreciate that." Not really understanding what kind of, this nigga did not have to do that. Like, dead ass, he has a collar, a good collar with crack, with all the crack. This is an easy arrest, an easy conviction. He went out on a limb for me. So when y'all say cops ain't like they used to be, this one cop, he really looked out because he did not have to do that. But at the time, that nigga walked out the jail. That nigga walked out the room and left me in the room. They took me to a holding cell and they left me there. So I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck going on? This nigga said he was gonna let me go." Like, what? They take me from the holding cell. They take me down to central bookings, and they process me at central bookings. Whole time I'm like, "Yo, this nigga told me he was gonna let me the fuck out. Like, what the fuck, nigga? This bitch ass nigga. Yo, what the fuck, right?" So I'm about to see the judge, and the lawyer comes up to me and he's like, "So what are you in here for?" And I'm like, "I got caught selling crack." You know what I'm saying? They caught the whole bomb or whatever. So yeah, that's why I'm here. And he's like, "You got caught selling crack?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So when he comes in, he has your deposition papers. He has the papers that you have to walk in front of the judge with, right? So he's looking at the papers. He's like, "Yo, I don't see no crack here." I'm like, "What you mean?" He's like, "This says you got caught with 18 grams of weed." My eyes open the fuck up. Like, what? Let me see. He shows me. He's like, "There's no crack on this. You're going home. Don't worry about it. You'll be released in a couple minutes." I go, I get released. I go outside. I don't even smoke cigarettes. Ask nigga, "Yo, let me go on cigarettes." I'm smoking the fuck out this cigarette, bro. Smoking the fucking cigarette. I was so excited. I walked from downtown Brooklyn back to Nostrand Avenue. When I get to Nostrand Avenue, the D's is back outside. It was TNT. It must have been Tuesday or Thursday, right? Long story. I'll talk about that later. But everybody's moving spooky, right? Because the D's is outside. As a matter of fact, there's a police car, an undercover police car, parked right on my corner, right? and all my niggas is down the block, so they see the cops parked right there. So I see them niggas right there, right? So I walk up to the car because I'm so excited, and I'm also so green and stupid that I walk up to the car and I say, "Yo, y'all know Officer such and such and such?" And they like, "What? We don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, "Dude, y'all know who I'm talking about, bro. He's a police officer. He works at the precinct. Y'all know him?" I'm like, "Hold on." Right next to the spot, there was a a card store, right? We sell balloons and cards and shit like that. I go in the store, I bought a thank you card, and I wrote a whole message to the officer. And I leave out the shop and I give the card to the police officers. And them niggas took the card and they drove off. When I tell you niggas was staring at me like, what the fuck? First of all, understand how this looks. I got arrested with 20 cracks on me yesterday. Nobody's coming home from that. Secondly, you out of jail, you walk up to the police car, then you go write a bunch of shit down on a piece of paper, then you give it to the police, and they drive off. When I tell you I walked across the street like, yo, I'm home. Them niggas started running across the street, dispersing. Niggas was just, I'm standing there trying to talk to niggas. No, everybody's keeping away, running away from me. I'm like, yo, what the fuck wrong with y'all niggas? I'm like, yo, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with y'all niggas? Like, why y'all acting like that? Nigga, you snitching, you ratted, nigga, you ratting. Me? I didn't rat on nobody. Niggas ain't talked to me for about 2 months. Niggas did not talk to me for about 2 months. And you know who talked to me, who brought me back outside? G-Young. And that nigga was one of the niggas running too. That nigga, he's so silly. He was so dumb. He's swaggy, but he old moving. He's moving like no, get away from me, nigga. Like he's moving funny. He's moving mad funny. Like, no, nigga, don't talk to me, nigga. Fuck out of here, nigga. What the fuck? Why y'all acting like that? You know what I'm saying? Went through a real depression around that time because I felt like my whole identity had been, stripped from me. My friends gone. Now I'm back in my mom's crib hiding, not coming outside. And one day that nigga called me out the blue. He's like, yo, you ready to come back outside, nigga? I guess around that time they realized that there wasn't no snitching. There wasn't no indictments. There wasn't nothing. No, like, nigga, he's just dumb. It was just the dumbest thing you've ever seen a street nigga do. Yeah, I did that. But after that, shit got real for me. I started. All right, I'm going to tell this last story before I close this out. Hold on. As I started hustling more, me and Young, we differed on a lot of things because he never wanted me to hustle. But I guess he just like kind of like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? You here now. You out here now. You getting money now. But there's a difference in the way certain niggas hustle. Some niggas hustle to get a pair of sneakers. Other niggas hustle to get money. You know what I'm saying? So a nigga might hustle. You take your 8-ball or whatever. The nigga flip it. The 8-ball wind up getting you out. Let's say an 8-ball gets you $300. It costs $1, right? So you make your 300. You got to buy another 8-ball. You got 200. You go buy you a pair of sneakers. Niggas will keep doing that over and over and over again. Get a shirt now. Now you got to go get another 8-ball. Then you do this. Then you go get another 8-ball, right? This is what niggas was doing. Young had, he had a different way about life. He showed me what the possibilities were when it came to a lot of things. And money was that was one of them. Hustling was different than selling drugs. It, there's just a difference between being a hustler and a drug dealer, and I'm explaining to you why. And this will be the last story before I close this out about everything. Um, I save up enough money, and I wanted to buy a car. At that time, we was just getting like $50 Tauruses from the auction. But I ain't, you go to the auction. It's like when they seize cars and shit like that, and whatever comes up as $50, you just buy it. You put plates on it. Now you got a car. We was nigga. Sometimes it'd be 3 Tauruses lying back to back, and then if cops run up on the Taurus and they catch the drugs, because we keep the drugs in the car sometimes, they take the car and then you go get another one. Tomorrow, 2 days later, you got a whole nother car, and that's just what it was. We just kept buying Tauruses, but over time, we started wanting more in life and shit, and I went to go buy. There was a dealer right here on Franklin and Atlantic, so I went up in there one day. And Young had already bought him a Range Rover. He had bought him a Range Rover, and this was a time when I still looked at Young as different than me, right? I was still he was on a pedestal when it came to who he was and where he was in the game. There was a lot of respect and stuff. And so I went to go get a Acura. Acura was like 10 years old. It was like a white Acura with red seats. So I go up there, but because Young is, he's my confidant, he's the person, he's my mentor, he's the person that I talk to about everything. I went and got Young. I called him, like, yo, come over here. So he drove his truck over there, parked the truck up, and he walks up, he goes, looks at the Acura, and he's just like, word. And he was like, yo, take a ride with me. And I'm like, yo, I'm about to pay this nigga right now. He's like, nigga, this shit's gonna be here when you get back. This shit had like rust on the bumper and shit. He was like, nobody's buying this right now, bro. Don't even worry about it. You could come buy this later on, right? So puts me in a Range Rover. We start rolling up. He's like, yo, roll this up. So we rolling, we smoking. This is one thing we always did. We always had to smoke. You know what I'm saying? And he took me to Queens Boulevard. Now, Queens Boulevard back in the days, it had nothing but Benzes, just car lots everywhere. Car lots everywhere with people selling cars. This is just the area where they just sold mad cars. So it was like a car lot on the right hand of the highway or the street, the car right, a lot on the left side. It was just car lots all up and down and shit. And all of it is high-priced vehicles, super high-priced. Range Rovers, Benzes, all of this shit. You feel me? And so he takes me in there, and I'm like, my nigga, I am not spending all of this money, nigga, right? So he's like, bro, just look, man, just look, bro. So we looking at Benzes, we looking at Beamers, we looking at this, that, and the other, whatever. And I ain't really seen nothing I liked. Because also I wasn't really a car nigga. I wasn't an affluent thinking nigga. I was a regular nigga. I didn't even look at life in that way. And the dealer was like, okay, you don't like none of this? Matter of fact, I just got a truck. Come with me. So he takes us out the back of the lot, crosses the back street behind Queens Boulevard, and there's a lot over there. There's one truck in that lot, a Range Rover, 4.6, black on black, running boards. It had the ladder on the back. It had the ski rack on the top. Shit was beautiful, nigga. Beautiful. The truck cost, I want to say, 50 grand, maybe 60, right? The niggas wanted 13,000 down for it. I'm like, bro, I ain't got no $13,000 down. He's like, all right, Tahoe, come get in the truck, right? So we leave out. They make you sign a little paperwork or whatever just to act like you was going to get financing. But I'm like, I'm not getting that, bro. I'm not getting that. So you get in the truck. He's like, yo, just chill out, man. So he's talking to me. He's like, yo, Tahoe, let me ask you a question. How much money you make a day? Now, we was all hustling hard to live big back then. We was hustling hard. But me, I'll make maybe 900 a day. You come out in the morning, you make 300. You come back in the afternoon, you make 300. You know what I mean? Whatever. He's like, yo, so you make $900 a day. I was like, yeah, but I got to re-up. So he was like, all right, so if you re-up, that's 300. You make $600 in profit a day. He said that means in a month, you can make that 14,000 or 13,000 to get that truck in a month. If you hustle super hard, you can get that truck in a month, bro. 10 days times 600, that's 6,000. 20 days times that 600, right, is 12,000. So let's just take into account that it's hot, whatever is going on in the world. You got to eat, whatever. Just say it takes you 30 days, bro. You could have that Range Rover in 30 days, bro. You would rather that Acura, that 10-year-old piece of shit with the red seats and the rusted bumper, than save up for a month, my nigga? He was like, Tahoe, I told you a lot. I showed you a lot. We not out here. This is not work, bro. You selling drugs, nigga. You hustling, nigga. If you gonna do this, make it worth something. Or get out the way. He was like, matter of fact, I'm gonna get out your way. I'm gonna go to Atlanta for 2 weeks. The block is yours. Take it. I just looked at the nigga in the car. I started thinking. When I tell you, I didn't go to sleep for 2 weeks. And I got that fucking truck, bro. When G Young returned to New York, that truck was sitting on Nostrand Avenue. I had a crackhead washing the shit. He pulled up in his Range. I had my Range. It wasn't even a thing for niggas to have Range Rovers in Brooklyn at the time. You had Jay-Z talking about it, but that's Jay-Z. Not some average niggas in the hood. Niggas was buying like, you know what I'm saying, some shit that makes sense. But niggas ain't buying Range Rovers. Nigga, we was driving up the block, up Nostrand Avenue, side by side, Range Rovers. Niggas that was out there for years before me is looking like, yo, who the fuck does Tahoe think he is, bro? Who these niggas think they are, bro? And in that, I became the nigga that y'all know today, bro. Because I'm going to keep it more real with you. Hold on. I'm going to keep it more real with you. I go to cop the Range Rover. I know I've told this story before. I don't know how to work the CD player in the Range Rover. I think you had to put it in you had to put the CD, I think, in the armrest. And then it was just weird, right? So I put the shit in. The shit wouldn't come on. I get off Queens Boulevard. You got to get on the BQE. Trom was having a party that night. Trom, he was still DJing in the city. So I was telling them, I want to go show out. That night, every week they would do the same party. And so I had my Jay-Z CD, Reasonable Doubt. I throw it in the thing. I can't get it to work. I want my music to play, bro, but I can't get the shit to work. So fuck it. I pull off. I get on the highway. As I get on the highway, bro, I'm driving. A car hits another car in front of me on the highway, which then hit another car. This car flips over. I'm in the middle of this in a brand new Range Rover. I'm swerving, swerving all over the fucking place. I think my hood got a little nicked by something, but I managed to get through that whole shit, right? I stopped. You see people running on the highway, cars pulled over, smoke, car is turned on its side, all that. I'm the only nigga that made it through that commotion. I'm looking in my rear view, and the fucking music starts. Doom, 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 doom. What's that? Can't Knock the Hustle? What? Bro, I'm the only nigga on the highway, bro. And Jay-Z is playing, bro. And I just bought this new Range Rover. My world, bro. Young did this. Like I can't even believe who I am right now. I can't even believe who I am right now, bro. I get to Trom spot. I bought like 5 bottles just for everybody else. Because now I know who I am. Now I'm feeling it. Now, you feeling it? Yes, 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 yes. I'm feeling it. Yes. Yes. Nigga. And my aura changed. Because not only did I buy the bottles, I'm not in there on some shit like that. I'm in there on some cool. Like, yeah, this is what we do, nigga. This is what we do, nigga. And the block is mine. You feel me? I say all that to say there's a question that I had in my head about all of this. This story goes on. I have so many of them, and I can't wait for y'all. Hopefully, y'all are entertained by this, that y'all actually, when I do finally decide to write, you know, to finish writing, that y'all, you know, take a look. Because I want y'all to, it is a movie. It's crazy. My life is crazy. I ain't even going to bring up the BMF days. Young was the coach of the BMF basketball team here in Rucker. Somehow, one day, I just go there, and Young is the coach. How? I don't know. But he was the coach of BMF basketball team here in Rucker Park in Harlem. Facts. Look it up. It's a fact. Coach Glenn Young. Right? And that turned into some old other shit. But over time, especially once I got out of prison, Young and I separated. Because I became a loner again. There were things that were happening around me and things that I had ambition for, and him and I just didn't see eye to eye. Wasn't no beef, but I was a violent person. Most of the niggas that I hung around wasn't violent. Or would allow certain behavior and then tell me to chill, or they would chill. And I don't know if I was confused or if I don't know if the game turned me out. I was still angry, or if I still had something to prove. Because I guess if you live there, you grew up there, you don't really have nothing to prove because that's you. You don't really care what niggas think about you because that's you. You are who you are. You are who you was when you got here. You know what I'm saying? You was what you was when you got here. Me, I showed up, and so I had a chip on my shoulder. I had to prove myself, especially now that I'm on, right? Like the time when a nigga robbed me for 10 jacks. Nick robbed me for 10 jacks. He said, yo, my uncle want 10. And I gave him 10, and he didn't come back. Now jacks is cracks, right? So that's $100. He walked off. He ain't never come back. So now I'm feeling away. Like, this nigga didn't just rob me. You can't. Once a nigga gets you in front of everybody, that's it. You pussy. You can't, you know what I mean? So I hopped in the truck. Booby, my nigga, little Booby Smooth, he doing about 30 years right now. I just spoke to him the other day when Young passed. He hops in the truck with me. We catch Nick on the corner of Quincy and Marcy. I hop out. Gun is tucked. Yo, what's up? Yo, he's like, yo, you dead, bro. You dead, bro. You dead, meaning that's it. I got you. It is what it is. I got you. You ain't getting that back. I'm like, yo, stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Keep it real, bro. The nigga is with another nigga, And the crackhead, the nigga, the other nigga, I think he's a drunk or a crackhead or whatever. I ain't never saw no crack to a nigga. But he just looked like a, sketchy nigga or whatever. He's like, yeah, nigga, what you gonna do, nigga? What you gonna do? So I'm like, facts. Boobie's in the truck on some getaway shit. Like, he jumped in the driver's seat. So I go turn around with my back to Nick and them. I grab my hammer and I go to spin. And I was going to give it to him, I promise you. And Boobie like, yo. So I look over and it's the police right there. Just parked, right? Like, not even parked. Like, they pulled up to the light and they just looking at me. So I'm looking at them. I got the hammer in my hand, bro. And I'm looking at them. Keep in mind, Nick is still over here behind me. So I'm kind of just looking at them like, and they slowly pull off. And Boobie's like, yo, chill. So I tucked the shit. And I was like, yo, I'm going to see you later, Nick. Don't even worry about it. I got you. I pull off. The next day. Now, this happens. Everybody still thinks I'm slightly green, right? I'm hustling and I'm doing my 1-2, but I ain't put in no real work yet. Just having, fights or whatever. That ain't really nothing, right? So that next day, Nick comes up the block with the $100. He's like, yo, here. Yo, bro, I'm sorry. Now, Nick is huge. And Nick is huge. If I'm 6 foot, I'm 5'11" and 5/8. What y'all trying to do? Y'all, I'm talking a lot of gangster shit right now. Y'all really want to play with me right now? Because I'm on it right now. Okay? I said I'm 6 feet. It's a problem? Because, hey, I'm in my bag right now. Is y'all good or is you good? I'm 6 feet. Okay? If just don't go to 5'11". If you're going to admit 5'11" and 5/8, I'm 5'11" and 5/8. But you're not going to 5'11" me because the 5 and the 8, there's more leaning towards 6 than it is 5'11". If you add it, it's only 3 more inches or centimeters or whatever the fuck to get to 6. I would have to go back 5 to get back to 5'11". So everybody stay respectful. I said what I said. In any case, I was 6 feet. Nick was like 6'3", stocky, right? He walks up to me. He like, yo. You know what I'm saying? He looks up to me. He's like, yo, I ain't mean no disrespect, bro. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Let's just end this here, such and such and such. I'm like, yo, Nick, on everything, bro, I can't let that slide, bro. I can't let that slide, bro. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, Tahoe, But he kept it respectful, and I told the nigga, I don't want to see you over here no more. He was like, no problem. And he kept it pushing. And he ain't come around the block for a while. And that was respect. And I'm assuming that the block spoke to Nick like, yo, you can't book Tahoe. I don't know if they told him that he was going to pop you or Tahoe was going to pop you. Or they said, yo, he's family. You can't rob one of us. I don't know what you think this is, but you can't rob one of us. But Nick was also family. So I guess he understood or whatever. I don't know. We never really had that conversation. But over time, me and him got back cool again. And, shout out to him. I'm literally just telling my story. So I hope we don't got to go no further. Like, it is what it is. But that's real. It's real. That's what happened. You feel me? I was incensed trying to prove myself. So, that's what I came from. Guns and shit. And most of the niggas I hung around wasn't like that. They wasn't like gun shooters, you know what I mean? You had a certain amount of niggas. You had Dre, you had niggas that really gave it up like that. And they had that about them. But most of the niggas that I was around, they didn't give it up like that. So, but you know what? Knowing who you are to me is important. Everybody don't have to be a killer. And I wish that these little niggas now would know that instead of ruining their life trying to chase some shit that they don't have. That's not you. Don't be that. You can. It's okay to be you. And the niggas I was around knew that that wasn't them, and they didn't feel they had nothing to prove because they was who they was. They showed up there. They grew up there. I showed up there, so I felt like I had something to prove. So I respect the fact that they didn't feel like they had to go, you know what I'm saying, that far with it. Damn, it's a long ass story, ain't it? So me and Young fell out over time, and being that he just passed, I'm gonna leave that there. A lot happened, a lot more happened, and I was super disappointed, bro, in him and the choices that he made, and continuously. And I think that he was caught up in that. I think that because he was a basketball star at one point, he needed that. I think so. He hurt his knee at some point, and he couldn't play no more. And it was a big disappointment for him, his family, the people around him, because he was going to the league. He was going to be that guy. He was going to be Kyrie. He was going to be fucking whatever. Chris Paul. He was going to be one of them niggas that was like nice. You know what I mean? The people that actually made it from our hood, people didn't even think that they was going to make it like that. You got my nigga, well, whatever, no reason, but you know what I mean? Like you knew he was going to make it. And then he injured himself and he didn't want to go to therapy, and he just kind of let the depression from injuring himself take over. But then you have I miss the way they call my name. I miss the lights. I miss the, you know what I mean, attention that I got, the belief that I was gonna be that nigga. And I think he gave in. The drugs helped. The selling the drugs and the shit like that, it made him feel alive again. And I think he continuously chased that feeling for his whole life. And me, when I got acquitted of that charge, I knew I didn't need that anymore. But he did. And so he kept going along that route, but it turned me off because there's this whole world out here, and we're going to spend the rest of our lives on this corner where it don't matter to nobody if we live or die here. And for you to be my big bro, and I don't use that term, but that's what he was. He was my mentor. He was a person that I looked up to, and I his opinion mattered kind of more than mine. That's how much respect I had for him at a time. But I grew up, and I couldn't respect the decisions that was being made. I couldn't respect that we're doing all of this just to prove shit to other people, just to show them that we that nigga. Like, the things that I have to say, I can't say right now, because it's embarrassing. But it's like they just say one of these things like, we would throw parties, right? And, you know, popping bottles was the big thing, right? But we would stock the bar. So when we stocked the bar, we would buy like 100 bottles and put them behind the bar for us to pop in the party. So while everybody else is buying the bottles, ours were bought on, you know, behind us. So niggas is paying 200. Nigga, we bought these for 20 or whatever they are. You know what I mean? So we just pop, and niggas like, oh, them niggas is getting money. No, nigga, we bought these from the liquor store. We didn't buy all this right here. And so after a while, you start thinking about the way you're moving, and this goes into the BMF days and all of that, and kind of what turned me off to everything. And all of that will be, you know, again, y'all already know, I'm going to say it again, but it just became tired to me, especially when I believe I'm that nigga now. And so Young and I fell out, and we weren't that close anymore. And that was hard for me to hear that he passed last week. It was hard for me because I loved him, but I also kind of was not feeling him, not feeling the choices that he made with his life. It hurt. It hurt me to see him in that life the way he was when he passed. It hurt me to my core because this is somebody that you believe in, right? And then you think, yo, I wasted so much of my life over there under you, pause, to realize that it was all a lie or you feeding your insecurities. And so when people think, yo, Tahoe's always talking about, the community, this and that, other, and getting off the corner, that comes from Young too. All of this comes from Young. My name, the who I was, the who I am, it comes from seeing the world through this man's eyes and then understanding it from then to now and seeing the lies, seeing the hypocrisy, seeing the how cheap it is to throw your life away for a couple of years of affluence. A couple years, even if it's 10. Now you're fucked because that's 10 years you could have been invested into a career, going to school, taking care of your kids. 10 years of just doing shit to improve yourself to a bunch of niggas that don't give a fuck about you. You think they do, but nigga, there's been times where a nigga get locked up and you don't even know the nigga was locked up until he come home 2 years later. You just don't see a nigga. And then the nigga come out and he all stocky and shit. And you like, yo, damn, nigga. He's like, yeah, I just did a dime. I just did 2 years. You like, damn, nigga, you was in jail? And guess what? You ain't think about it because you stuck in the hustle. You stuck doing whatever you doing. You ain't wondering about what this nigga is unless he's part of your team, your little, whatever. And then even then, that nigga go away. You send a nigga $500 for bail or whatever, but you ain't calling the nigga every other day. Then you ain't sending the nigga packages all the time. Let's keep it real. At least the team I was around wasn't doing that. They wasn't doing that. So we might try to help you bail out, send you $500, but you in jail, you in jail. See you when you get out, nigga. That's it. That's who you wasting your life for? That's who your child is growing up with their mother by themselves because you want to spend your time around these niggas that don't give a fuck about you past the $500 that they threw you one time. And your baby mother is going up there every week, traveling with this big ass bag. She's walking down the block with your baby every day, 2-3 times a day, trying to make sure the shit is straight. She's putting food on the table. She's the one braiding your hair. She's the one making sure that everything is straight. These are the people that you are not around because you believe in this lie. Because you feeding the insecurities of your youth or your mommy issues or your father issues. And that's why I am who I am today. And it feels bitter. It feels grief. Me having grief for my friend. It feels crazy because I didn't like what he became or the life that he chose. I didn't like the life that we chose. I don't celebrate that no more. And I left him alone, you know what I'm saying? Where he really valued who I became, right? He looked up to me at a point. He was like, wow. And I kind of turned my back. So that's something I have to live with. But I can't When I decided to change my life, that meant I couldn't be both. When y'all see I don't have friends, I have a lot of friends, but I can't be both. I made a hard choice, a hard decision to live by myself, away from certain shit. And that was a hard choice to make, but that I felt was the right thing for me to do to avoid negative influences and little bullshit connections to who I used to be. I ain't want to be that no more. And now, I don't know if I regret that because I guess I could have still been friends. We could have still talked. But I didn't like what you became. So now you gone. There's a young man that, he had so much love in his heart, but he also had a lot of other shit. And I guess sometimes you're just too close to the forest to see the trees. You become so jaded by whatever feelings you're caught up in right now that you don't see the big picture no more. We've all been through that, right? And breakups or whatever, you get so caught up over the last offense that you don't see the big picture of what this relationship really means to you or meant to you or whatever. And so you move off of this feeling today. But life is too short, bro. So to G Young, I want to say I'm sorry. I want to say I love you. And I don't know who I would be without you. I want to say I appreciate you. So, thank you.